Yahweh is righteous. Yahweh is holy. Genesis 4, verse 10. And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. Genesis 4:11. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. Genesis 9:4. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. Genesis 9, verse 5. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Genesis 9:6. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Elohim made he man. Genesis 37:26. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Genesis 37:31. And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood. Genesis 42:22. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child? And ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. Genesis 49:11. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. Exodus 4, verse 9. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these two signs, neither hearken unto thy voice, that thou shalt take of the water of the river, and pour it upon the dry land. And the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. Exodus 4, verse 25. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone, and cut off the foreskin of her son, and cast it at his feet, and said, Surely a bloody husband art thou to me. Exodus 4:26. So he let him go. Then she said, A bloody husband thou art, because of the circumcision. Exodus 7:17. Thus saith Yahweh, In this thou shalt know that I am Yahweh. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in mine hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. Exodus 7, verse 19. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. Exodus 7, verse 20. And Moses and Aaron did so, as Yahweh commanded. And he lifted up the rod, and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. Exodus 7, verse 21. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. Exodus 12, verse 7. And they shall take of the blood, and strike it on the two side posts, and on the upper door post of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. Exodus 12, verse 13. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you, when I smite the land of Egypt. Exodus 12, verse 22. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. Exodus 12, verse 23. For Yahweh will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, Yahweh will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer come in unto your houses to smite you. Exodus 22, verse 2. If a thief be found breaking up, and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. Exodus 22, verse 3. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. Exodus 23, verse 18. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning. Exodus 24, verse 6. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. Exodus 24, verse 8. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, Behold, the blood of the covenant, which Yahweh hath made with you concerning all these words. Exodus 29, verse 12. And thou shalt take of the blood of the bullock, and put it upon the horns of the altar with thy finger, and pour all the blood beside the bottom of the altar. Exodus 29, verse 16. And thou shalt slay the ram, and thou shalt take his blood, and sprinkle it around about upon the altar. Exodus 29, verse 20. Then shalt thou kill the ram, and take of his blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and upon the tip of the right ear of his sons, and upon the thumb of their right hand, and upon the great toe of their right foot, and sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. Exodus 29, verse 21. And thou shalt take of the blood that is upon the altar, and of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon the garments of his sons with him. And he shall be hallowed, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. Exodus 30, verse 10. And Aaron shall make an atonement upon the horns of it once in a year with the blood of the sin offering of atonements. Once in the year shall he make atonement upon it throughout your generations. It is most holy unto Yahweh. Exodus 34, verse 25. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven, neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of the Passover be left unto the morning. Leviticus chapter 1, verse 5. And he shall kill the bullock before Yahweh, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Leviticus 1:11. And he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward before Yahweh, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar. Leviticus 1:15. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar, and wring off his head, and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. Leviticus 3:2. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. Leviticus 3:8. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. Leviticus 3:13. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. Leviticus 3:17. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood. Leviticus 4:5. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the congregation. Leviticus 4:6. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before YAHWEH, before the veil of the sanctuary. Leviticus 4:7. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before YAHWEH, which is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Leviticus 4:16. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the congregation. Leviticus 4:17. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before YAHWEH, even before the veil. Leviticus 4:18. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar which is before YAHWEH, that is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Leviticus 4:25. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of the burnt offering, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering. Leviticus 4:30. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of the burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. Leviticus 4:34. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. Leviticus 5:9. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. Leviticus 6:27. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy. And when there is sprinkled of the blood thereof upon any garment, thou shalt wash that whereon it was sprinkled in the holy place. Leviticus 6:30. And no sin offering whereof any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of the congregation to reconcile withal in the holy place shall be eaten. It shall be burnt in the fire. Leviticus 7:2. In the place where they kill the burnt offering shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle around about upon the altar. Leviticus 7:14. And of it he shall offer one out of the whole oblation for an heave offering unto YAHWEH, and it shall be the priest that sprinkleth the blood of the peace offerings. Leviticus 7:26. Moreover, ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of fowl or of beasts, in any of your dwellings. Leviticus 7:27. Whatsoever soul it be that eateth any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. Leviticus 7:33. He among the sons of Aaron that offereth the blood of the peace offerings and the fat shall have the right shoulder for his part. Leviticus 8:15. And he slew it, and Moses took the blood and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar, and sanctified it, to make reconciliation upon it. Leviticus 8, verse 19. And he killed it, and Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. Leviticus 8, verse 23. And he slew it, and Moses took of the blood of it, and put it upon the tip of Aaron's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. Leviticus 8, verse 24. And he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put of the blood upon the tip of their right ear, and upon the thumbs of their right hands, and upon the great toes of their right feet. And Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. Leviticus chapter 8, verse 30. And Moses took of the anointing oil, and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aaron, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. Leviticus 9, 9. And the sons of Aaron brought the blood unto him, and he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the bottom of the altar. Leviticus 9, 12. And he slew the burnt offering, and Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled round about upon the altar. Leviticus 9, 18. He slew also the bullock, and then the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings, which was for the people. And Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about. Leviticus 10, 18. Behold, the blood of it was not brought in within the holy place. Ye should indeed have eaten it in the holy place as I commanded. Leviticus 12, verse 4. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 33 days. She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. Leviticus 12, verse 5. But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation. And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days. Leviticus 12, verse 7. Who shall offer it before Yahweh, and make an atonement for her? And she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the law for her that hath borne a male or a female. Leviticus 14, verse 6. As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and shall dip them and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. Leviticus 14, verse 14. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. Leviticus 14, verse 17. And of the rest of the oil that is in his hand shall the priest put upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the blood of the trespass offering. Leviticus 14, verse 25. And he shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering, and the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. Leviticus 14, verse 28. And the priest shall put of the oil that is in his hand upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the place of the blood of the trespass offering. Leviticus 14, verse 51. And he shall take the cedar wood, and the hyssop, and the scarlet, and the living bird, and dip them in the blood of the slain bird, and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. Leviticus 14, verse 52. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. Leviticus 15, verse 19. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. Leviticus 15, verse 25. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Leviticus 16, verse 14. And he shall take of the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward. And before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times. Leviticus 16, verse 15. Then shall he kill the goat of the sin offering, that is for the people, and bring his blood within the veil, and do with that the blood as he did with the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it upon the mercy seat, and before the mercy seat. Leviticus 16, verse 18. And he shall go out unto the altar that is before Yahweh, and make an atonement for it, and shall take of the blood of the bullock, and of the blood of the goat, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about. Leviticus 16, verse 19. And he shall sprinkle of the blood upon it with his finger 7 times, and cleanse it, and hallow it from the uncleanness of the children of Israel. Leviticus 16, verse 27. And the bullock for the sin offering, and the goat for the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth without the camp. And they shall burn in the fire their skins, and their flesh, and their dung. Leviticus 17, verse 4. And bringeth it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, to offer an offering unto Yahweh before the tabernacle of Yahweh. Blood shall be imputed unto that man. He hath shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people. Leviticus 17, verse 6. And the priest shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and burn the fat for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. Leviticus 17, verse 10. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. Leviticus 17, verse 11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. Leviticus 17, verse 12. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood. Leviticus 17, verse 13. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof, and cover it with dust. Leviticus 17, verse 14. For it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh. For the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. whosoever eateth it shall be cut off. Leviticus 19, verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am Yahweh. Leviticus 19, verse 26. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor observe times. Leviticus 20, verse 9. For everyone that curseth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. He hath cursed his father or his mother, his blood shall be upon him. Leviticus 20, verse 11. And the man that lieth with his father's wife hath uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Leviticus 20, verse 12. And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have wrought confusion. Their blood shall be upon them. Leviticus 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Leviticus 20, verse 16. And if a woman approach unto any beast, and lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Leviticus 20, verse 18. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain, and she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people. Leviticus 20, verse 27. A man also, or woman, that hath a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones. Their blood shall be upon them. Numbers 18, verse 17. But the firstling of a cow, or the firstling of a sheep, or the firstling of a goat, thou shalt not redeem. They are holy. Thou shalt sprinkle their blood upon the altar, and shalt burn their fat for an offering made by fire, for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. Numbers 19, verse 4. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle of her blood directly before the tabernacle of the congregation 7 times. Numbers 19, verse 5. And no one shall burn the heifer in his sight, her skin, and her flesh, and her blood, with her dung, he shall burn. Numbers 23, verse 24. Behold, the people shall rise up as a great lion, and lift up himself as a young lion. He shall not lie down until he eat of the prey, and drink the blood of the slain. Numbers 35:19. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him. Numbers 35:21. Or in enmity smite him with his hand, that he die. He that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meeteth him. Numbers 35, verse 24. Then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood, according to these judgments. Numbers 35, verse 25. And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood. And the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge, whither he was fled. And he shall abide in it unto the death of the high priest, which was anointed with the holy oil. Numbers 35, verse 27. And the revenger of blood find him, Without the borders of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood. Numbers 35, verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Deuteronomy 12, verse 16. Only ye shall not eat the blood, ye shall pour it upon the earth as water. Deuteronomy 12, verse 23. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. Deuteronomy 12, verse 27. And thou shalt offer thy burnt offerings, the flesh and the blood, upon the altar of YAHWEH thy Elohim. And the blood of thy sacrifices shall be poured out upon the altar of YAHWEH thy Elohim, and thou shalt eat the flesh. Deuteronomy 15, verse 23. Only thou shalt not eat the blood thereof, thou shalt pour it upon the ground as water. Deuteronomy 17, verse 8. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then shalt thou arise, and get thee up into the place which YAHWEH thy Elohim shall choose. Deuteronomy 19, verse 6. Lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer, while his heart is hot, and overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, inasmuch as he hated him not in time past. Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 10. That innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which YAHWEH thy Elohim giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. Deuteronomy 19, verse 12. Then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Deuteronomy 19, verse 13. Thine eyes shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. Deuteronomy 21, verse 7. And they shall answer and say, Our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it. Deuteronomy 21, verse 8. Be merciful, O YAHWEH, unto thy people, whom thou hast redeemed, and lay not innocent blood unto thy people of Israel's charge, and the blood shall be forgiven them. Deuteronomy 21, verse 9. So shalt thou put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when thou shalt do that which is right in the sight of YAHWEH. Deuteronomy 22, verse 8. When thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt make a battlement for thy roof, when thou bring not blood upon thine house, if any man fall from thence. Deuteronomy 32, verse 14. Butter of kine, and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs, and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats, with the fat of kidneys of wheat. And thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. Deuteronomy 32, verse 42. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh. And with the blood of the slain and of the captives, from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. Deuteronomy 32, verse 43. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. Joshua 2, verse 19. And it shall be that whosoever shall go out of the doors of thy house into the street, his blood shall be upon his head. and we will be guiltless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be on our head, if any hand be upon him. Joshua 20, verse 3. That the slayer that killeth any person unawares and unwittingly may flee thither, and they shall be your refuge from the avenger of blood. Joshua 20, verse 5. And if the avenger of blood pursue after him, then they shall not deliver the slayer up into his hand, because he smote his neighbor unwittingly, and hated him not before time. Joshua 20, verse 9. These were the cities appointed for all the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them, that whosoever killeth any person at unawares might flee thither, and not die by the hand of the avenger of blood until he stood before the congregation. Judges chapter 9, verse 24. That the cruelty done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might come, and their blood be laid upon Abimelech their brother, which slew them, and upon the men of Shechem, which aided him in the killing of his brethren. 1 Samuel 14, verse 32. And the people flew upon the spoil, and took sheep, and oxen, and calves, and slew them on the ground, and the people did eat them with the blood. 1 Samuel 14, verse 33. Then they told Saul, saying, Behold, the people sinned against Yahweh, in that they eat with the blood. And he said, Ye have transgressed. Roll a great stone unto me this day. 1 Samuel 14, verse 34. And Saul said, Disperse yourselves among the people, and say unto them, Bring me hither every man his ox, and every man his sheep, and slay them here, and eat, and sin not against Yahweh in eating with the blood. And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night, and slew them there. 1 Samuel 19, verse 5. For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine. And Yahweh wrought a great salvation for all Israel. Thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore then wilt thou sin against blood, to slay David without a cause? 1 Samuel 25, verse 26. Now therefore, my Lord, as Yahweh liveth, and as thy soul liveth, seeing Yahweh hath withholden thee from coming to shed blood, and from avenging thyself with thine own hand, now let thine enemies and they that seek evil to my Lord be as Nabal. 1 Samuel 25, verse 31. That this shall be no grief unto thee, nor offense of heart unto my Lord, either that thou hast shed blood causeless, or that my Lord hath avenged himself. But when Yahweh shall have dealt with my Lord, then remember thine handmaid. 1 Samuel 25, verse 33. And blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which hast kept me from this day from coming to shed blood, and from avenging myself with mine own hand. 1 Samuel 26, verse 20. Now therefore, let not my blood fall to the earth before the face of Yahweh. For the king of Israel is come out to seek a flea, as when one doth hunt a partridge in the mountains. 2 Samuel 1, verse 16. And David said unto him, Thy blood be upon thy head, for thy mouth hath testified against thee, saying, I have slain Yahweh's anointed. 2 Samuel 1:22. From the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty, from the bow of Jonathan turned not back, and the sword of Saul returned not empty. 2 Samuel 3 verse 27. And when Abner was returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him there under the 5th rib, that he died, for the blood of Ashael his brother. 2 Samuel 3 verse 28. And afterward, when David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before Yahweh forever from the blood of Abner, the son of Ner. 2 Samuel 4 verse 11. How much more when wicked men have slain a righteous person in his own house upon his bed? Shall I not therefore now require his blood of your hand, and take you away from the earth? 2 Samuel 14 verse 11. Then said he, I pray thee, let the king remember Yahweh thy Elohim, that thou wouldest not suffer the revengers of blood to destroy any more, lest they destroy my son. And he said, As Yahweh liveth, there shall not one hair of thy son fall to the earth. 2 Samuel 16 verse 7. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. 2 Samuel 16 verse 8. Yahweh hath returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. And Yahweh hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son. And behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man. 2 Samuel 20 verse 12. And Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the highway. And when the man saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the highway into the field, and cast a cloth upon him. When he saw that everyone came out by him stood still. 2 Samuel 21 verse 1. Then there was a famine in the days of David 3 years, year after year. And David inquired of Yahweh, and Yahweh answered, It is for Saul, and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites. 2 Samuel 23 verse 17. And he said, Be it far from me, O Yahweh, that I should do this. It is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives? Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mighty men. 1 Kings chapter 2 verse 5. Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab the son of Zechariah did to me, and what he did to the 2 captains of the host of Israel, unto Abner the son of Ner, and unto Amasa the son of Jether, whom he slew, and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his feet. 1 Kings 2 verse 9. Now therefore hold him not guiltless, for thou art a wise man, and knowest what thou oughtest to do unto him. But his hoar head bring thou down to the grave with blood. 1 Kings 2 verse 31. And the king said unto him, Do as he hath said, and fall upon him, and bury him, that thou mayest take away the innocent blood, which Joab shed from me, and from the house of my father. 1 Kings chapter 2 verse 32. And Yahweh shall return his blood upon his own head, who fell upon 2 men more righteous and better than he, and slew them with the sword, my father David not knowing thereof, to wit, Abner the son of Ner, captain of the host of Israel, and Amasa the son of Jether, captain of the host of Judah. 1 Kings 2 verse 33. Their blood shall therefore return upon the head of Joab, and upon the head of his seed forever. But upon David, and upon his seed, and upon his house, and upon his throne, shall there be peace forever from Yahweh. 1 Kings 2 verse 37. For it shall be that on the day that thou goest out, and passeth over the brook of Kidron, thou shalt know for certain that thou shalt surely die. Thy blood shall be upon thine own head. 1 Kings 18 verse 28. And they cried aloud, and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lancets, till the blood gushed out upon them. 1 Kings 21 verse 19. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, Hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, In the place where dogs licked the blood of Naboth shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine. 1 Kings 22 verse 35. And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at even. And the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot. 1 Kings 22 verse 38. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood, and they washed his armor, according unto the word of Yahweh which he spake. 2 Kings 3 verse 22. And they rose up early in the morning, and the sun shone upon the water, and the Moabites saw the water on the other side as red as blood. 2 Kings 3 verse 23. And they said, This is blood. The kings are surely slain, and they have smitten one another. Now therefore, Moab to the spoil. 2 Kings 9 verse 7. And thou shalt smite the house of Ahab thy master, that I may avenge the blood of my servants the prophets, and the blood of all the servants of Yahweh at the hand of Jezebel. 2 Kings 9 verse 26. Surely I have seen yesterday the blood of Naboth, and the blood of his sons, saith Yahweh. And I will requite thee in his plat, saith Yahweh. Now therefore, take and cast him into the plat of the ground, according to the word of Yahweh. 2 Kings 9 verse 33. And he said, Throw her down. So they threw her down, and some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall, and on the horses, and he trode under her foot. 2 Kings 16 verse 13. And he burnt his burnt offering and his meat offering, and poured his drink offering, and sprinkled the blood of his peace offerings upon the altar. 2 Kings 16 verse 15. And King Ahaz commanded Uriah the priest, saying, Upon the great altar burn the morning burnt offering, and the evening meat offering, and the king's burnt sacrifice, and his meat offering, with the burnt offering of all the people of the land, and their meat offering, and their drink offerings, and sprinkle upon it all the blood of the burnt offering, and all the blood of the sacrifice. And the brazen altar shall be for me to inquire by. 2 Kings 21 verse 16. Moreover, Manasseh shed innocent blood very much, till he had filled Jerusalem from one end to another, beside his sin wherewith he made Judah to sin, in doing that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh. 2 Kings 24, verse 4. And also for the innocent blood that he shed, for he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, which Yahweh would not pardon. 1 Chronicles 11, verse 19. And said, My Elohim forbidded me, that I should do this thing. Shall I drink the blood of these men that have put their lives in jeopardy? For with the jeopardy of their lives they brought it. Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these three mightiest. 1 Chronicles 22, verse 8. But the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Thou hast shed blood abundantly, and hast made great wars. Thou shalt not build an house unto my name, because thou hast shed much blood upon the earth in my sight. 1 Chronicles 28, verse 3. But Elohim said unto me, Thou shalt not build an house for my name, because thou hast been a man of war, and hast shed blood. 2 Chronicles 19, verse 10. And what cause soever shall come to you of your brethren that dwell in your cities, between blood and blood, between law and commandment, statutes and judgments, ye shall even warn them that they trespass not against Yahweh, and so wrath come upon you and upon your brethren. This do, and ye shall not trespass. 2 Chronicles 24, verse 25. And when they were departed from him, for they left him in great diseases, his own servants conspired against him for the blood of the sons of Jehoiada the priest, and slew him on his bed, and he died. And they buried him in the city of David, but they buried him not in the sepulchres of the kings. 2 Chronicles 29, verse 22. So they killed the bullocks, and the priest received the blood, and sprinkled it on the altar. Likewise, when they had killed the rams, they sprinkled the blood upon the altar. They killed also the lambs, and they sprinkled the blood upon the altar. 2 Chronicles 29, verse 24. And the priests killed them, and they made reconciliation with their blood upon the altar, to make an atonement for all Israel. For the king commanded that the burnt offering and the sin offering should be made for all Israel. 2 Chronicles 30, verse 16. And they stood in their place after their manner, according to the law of Moses, the man of Elohim. The priest sprinkled the blood, which they received of the hand of the Levites. 2 Chronicles 35, verse 11. And they killed the Passover, and the priests sprinkled the blood from their hands, and the Levites flayed them. Job 16, verse 18. O earth, cover not thou my blood, and let my cry have no place. Job 39, verse 30. Her young ones also suck up the blood, and where the slain are, there is she. Psalm 5, verse 6. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. Yahweh will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. Psalm 9, verse 12. When he maketh inquisition for blood, he remembereth them. He forgetteth not the cry of the humble. Psalm 16, verse 4. Their sorrows shall be multiplied that hasten after other gods. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. Psalm 26, verse 9. Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men. Psalm 30, verse 9. What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit? Shall the dust praise thee, Shall it declare my truth? Psalm 50, verse 13. Will I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats? Psalm 51, verse 14. Deliver me from blood guiltiness. O Elohim, thou Elohim of my salvation, and my tongue shall sing aloud of thy righteousness. Psalm 55, verse 23. But thou, O Elohim, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. Psalm 58, verse 10. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. Psalm 59, verse 2. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity, and save me from bloody men. Psalm 68, verse 23. That thy foot may be dipped in the blood of thine enemies, and the tongue of thy dogs in the same. Psalm 72, verse 14. He shall redeem their soul from deceit and violence, and precious shall their blood be in his sight. Psalm 78, verse 44. And had turned their rivers into blood, and their floods that they could not drink. Psalm 79, verse 3. Their blood have they shed like water round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. Psalm 79, verse 10. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is their Elohim? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight by the revenging of the blood of thy servants which is shed. Psalm 94, verse 21. They gathered themselves together against the soul of the righteous, and condemned the innocent blood. Psalm 105, verse 29. He turned their waters into blood, and slew their fish. Psalm 106, verse 38. And shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Psalm 139, verse 19. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O Elohim. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 11. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Proverbs 1:16. For their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. Proverbs 1:18. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. Proverbs 6:17. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Proverbs 12:6. The words of the wicked are to lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright shall deliver them. Proverbs 28:17. A man that doeth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him. Proverbs 29:10. The bloodthirsty hate the upright, but the just seek his soul. Proverbs 30:33. Surely the churning of milk bringeth forth butter, and the wringing of the nose bringeth forth blood. So the forcing of wrath bringeth forth strife. Isaiah 1:11. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith Yahweh? I am full of the burnt offerings of rams, and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks, or of lambs, or of he goats. Isaiah 1:15. And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. Isaiah 4:4. When Yahweh shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Isaiah 15:9. For the waters of Deepen shall be full of blood, for I will bring more upon Deepen lions upon him that escapeth of Moab, and upon the remnant of the land. Isaiah 26:21. For behold, Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth shall also disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Isaiah 33:15. He that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth the gain of oppressions, that shaketh his hands from holding of bribes, that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood, and shutteth his eyes from seeing evil. Isaiah 34:3. Their slain shall also be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Isaiah 34:6. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Isaiah 34:7. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. Isaiah 49:26. And I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh, and they shall be drunken with their own blood, as with sweet wine. And all flesh shall know that I, Yahweh, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. Isaiah 59:3. For your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies. Your tongue hath muttered perverseness. Isaiah 59:7. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. Isaiah 63:3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. Isaiah 66:3. He that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrificeth a lamb, as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offereth an oblation, as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense, as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighteth in their abominations. Jeremiah 2:34. Also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. Jeremiah 7:6. If ye oppress not the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after other gods to your hurt. Jeremiah 18, verse 21. Therefore deliver up their children to the famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of their children, and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let their young men be slain by the sword in battle. Jeremiah 19, verse 4. Because they have forsaken me, and have estranged this place, and have burned incense in it unto other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah, and have filled this place with the blood of innocents. Jeremiah 22, verse 3. Thus saith Yahweh, execute ye judgment in righteousness, and deliver the spoil out of the hand of the oppressor, and do no wrong. Do no violence to the stranger, the fatherless, nor the widow, neither shed innocent blood in this place. Jeremiah 22, verse 17. But thine eyes and thine heart are not but for thy covetousness, and for to shed innocent blood, and for oppression, and for violence to do it. Jeremiah 26, verse 15. But know ye for certain, that if ye put me to death, ye shall surely bring innocent blood upon yourselves, and upon this city, and upon the inhabitants thereof. For of a truth Yahweh hath sent me unto you to speak all these words in your ears. Jeremiah 46, verse 10. For this is the day of Yahweh Elohim of hosts, a day of vengeance, that he may avenge him of his adversaries. And the sword shall devour, and it shall be satiate, and made drunk with their blood. For Yahweh Elohim of hosts hath a sacrifice in the north country by the river Euphrates. Jeremiah 48, verse 10. Cursed be he that doeth the work of Yahweh deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. Jeremiah 51, verse 35. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon, shall the inhabitant of Zion say, and my blood upon the inhabitants of the Chaldea shall Jerusalem say. Lamentations 4, verse 13. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. Lamentations 4, verse 14. They have wandered as blind men in the streets. They have polluted themselves with blood, so that men could not touch their garments. Ezekiel 3, verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Ezekiel 3, verse 20. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness, and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning, and he shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Ezekiel 5, verse 17. So I will send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, Yahweh, have spoken it. Ezekiel 7, verse 23. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Ezekiel 9, verse 9. Then he said unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, And the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness. For they say, Yahweh hath forsaken the earth, and Yahweh seeth not. Ezekiel 14, verse 19. Or if I send a pestilence into that land, and pour out my fury upon it in blood, to cut off from it man and beast. Ezekiel 16, verse 6. And when I passed by thee, and saw thee polluted in thine own blood, I said unto thee, when thou wast in thy blood, live. Yea, I said unto thee, when thou wast in thy blood, live. Ezekiel 16, verse 9. Then I washed thee with water. Yea, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil. Ezekiel 16, verse 22. And in all thine abominations and thy whoredoms, thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, when thou wast naked and bare, and wast polluted in thy blood. Ezekiel 16, verse 36. Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredoms with thy lovers, and with all the idols of thy abominations, and by the blood of thy children, which thou didst give unto them. Ezekiel 16, verse 38. And I will judge thee, as a woman that brake wedlock and shed blood are judged, and I will give thee blood in fury and jealousy. Ezekiel 18, verse 10. If he beget a son that is a robber, a shedder of blood, and that doeth the like to any one of these things. Ezekiel 18, verse 13. Hast given forth upon usury, and hath taken increase. Shall he then live? He shall not live. He hath done all these abominations. He shall surely die. His blood shall be upon him. Ezekiel 19, verse 10. Thy mother is like a vine in thy blood, planted by the waters. She was fruitful and full of branches by reason of many waters. Ezekiel 21, verse 32. Thou shalt be for fuel to the fire. Thy blood shall be in the midst of the land. Thou shalt be no more remembered, for I, Yahweh, have spoken it. Ezekiel 22, verse 2. Now the Son of Man, wilt thou judge? Wilt thou judge the bloody city? Yea, thou shalt shew all her abominations. Ezekiel 22, verse 3. Then say thou, Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, the city sheddeth blood in the midst of it, that her time may come, and maketh idols against herself to defile herself. Ezekiel 22, verse 4. Thou art become guilty in thy blood that thou hast shed, and hast defiled thyself in thine idols, which thou hast made, and thou hast caused thy days to draw near, and art come even unto thy years. Therefore have I made thee a reproach unto the heathen, and a mocking to all countries. Ezekiel 22, verse 6. Behold, the princes of Israel, every one were in thee to their power to shed blood. Ezekiel 22, verse 9. In thee are men that carry tales to shed blood, and in thee they eat upon the mountains. In the midst of thee they commit lewdness. Ezekiel 22, verse 12. In thee have they taken gifts to shed blood. Thou hast taken usury and increase, and thou hast greedily gained of thy neighbors by extortion, and hast forgotten me, saith Yahweh Elohim. Ezekiel 22, verse 13. Behold, therefore I have smitten mine hand at thy dishonest gain which thou hast made, and at thy blood which hath been in the midst of thee. Ezekiel 22, verse 27. Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravening the prey, to shed blood, and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain. Ezekiel 23, verse 37. That they have committed adultery, and blood is in their hands, and with their idols they have committed adultery, and have caused their sons, whom they bear unto me, to pass them through the fire, to devour them. Ezekiel 23, verse 45. And the righteous men, they shall judge them after the manner of adulterousness, and after the manner of women that shed blood, because they are adulteresses, and blood is in their hands. Ezekiel 24, verse 6. Wherefore thus saith Yahweh Elohim, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece. Let no lot fall upon it. Ezekiel 24, verse 7. For her blood is in the midst of her. She set it upon the top of a rock. She poured it not upon the ground, to cover it with dust. Ezekiel 24, verse 8. That it might cause fury to come up to take vengeance. I have set her blood upon the top of a rock, that it should not be covered. Ezekiel 24, verse 9. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, woe to the bloody city. I will even make the pile for fire great. Ezekiel 28, 3. For I will send into her pestilence, and blood into her streets. And the wounded shall be judged in the midst of her by the sword upon her on every side. And they shall know that I am Yahweh. Ezekiel 32, verse 6. I will also water with thy blood the land wherein thou swimmest, even to the mountains, and the rivers shall be full of thee. Ezekiel 33, verse 4. Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet, and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. Ezekiel 33, verse 5. He heard the sound of the trumpet, and took not warning. His blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. Ezekiel 33, verse 6. But if the watchmen see the sword come, and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come, and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. Ezekiel 33, verse 8. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die, if thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Ezekiel 33, verse 25. Wherefore I say unto them, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, ye eat with the blood, and lift up your eyes toward your idols, and shed blood. And shall ye possess the land? Ezekiel 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Ezekiel 35, verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Elohim, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Ezekiel 36, verse 18. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they have shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it. Ezekiel 38, verse 22. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands, and upon the many people that are with him, and overflowing rain, and great hailstones, fire, and brimstone. Ezekiel 39, verse 17. And thou, son of man, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, speak unto every feathered fowl, and to every beast of the field. Assemble yourselves, and come, gather yourselves on every side to my sacrifice, as I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountains of Israel, that ye may eat flesh and drink blood. Ezekiel 39, verse 18. Ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty, and drink the blood of the princes of the earth, of rams, of lambs, and of goats, of bullocks, all of them fatlings of Bashan. Ezekiel 39, verse 19. And ye shall eat fat till ye be full, and drink blood till ye be drunken, of my sacrifice which I have sacrificed for you. Ezekiel 43, verse 18. And he said unto me, Son of man, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, these are the ordinances of the altar in the day when they shall make it, to offer burnt offerings thereon, and to sprinkle blood thereon. Ezekiel 43, verse 20. And thou shalt take of the blood thereof, and put it on the four horns of it, and on the four corners of the settle, and upon the border round about. Thus shalt thou cleanse and purge it. Ezekiel 44, verse 7. And that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers, uncircumcised in heart, and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to pollute it, even my house, when ye offer my bread, the fat and the blood, and they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations. Ezekiel 44, verse 15. But the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me to minister unto me, and they shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat and the blood, saith Yahweh Elohim. Ezekiel 45, verse 19. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering, and put it upon the posts of the house, and upon the four corners of the settle of the altar, and upon the post of the gate of the inner court. Hosea 1, verse 4. And Yahweh said unto him, Call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. Hosea 4, verse 2. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Hosea 6, verse 8. Gilead is a city of them that work iniquity, and is polluted with blood. Hosea 12, verse 14. Ephraim provoked him to anger most bitterly. Therefore shall he leave his blood upon him, and his reproach shall Yahweh return unto him. Joel 2, verse 30. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. Joel 2, verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of Yahweh come. Joel 3 verse 19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. Joel 3 verse 21. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for Yahweh dwelleth in Zion. Jonah 1 verse 14. Wherefore they cried unto Yahweh and said, We beseech thee, O Yahweh, we beseech thee, let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us innocent blood. For thou, O Yahweh, hast done as it pleased thee. Micah 3 verse 10. They build up Zion with blood, and Jerusalem with iniquity. Micah 7 verse 2. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net. Nahum 3 verse 1. Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth out. Habakkuk 2 verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Habakkuk 2 verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and stablished a city by iniquity. Habakkuk 2 verse 17. For the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoil of beasts, which made them afraid, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Zephaniah 1 verse 17. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Zechariah 9 verse 7. And I will take away his blood out of his mouth, and his abominations from between his teeth. But he that remaineth, even he, shall be for our Elohim, and he shall be as a governor in Judah, and Ekron as a Jebusite. Zechariah 9 verse 11. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant I have sent forth my prisoners out of the pit, wherein is no water.